And we're going to finish part one here with just a few more examples. So here's an example problem. What is the minimum cash flow that could be received at the end of year 3 to make the project acceptable? Right now, remember, the project being acceptable means it has a net present value greater than 0. So the way we solve these problems is figure out what we need here to make the net present value exactly equal to 0. And we know that anything more than that is acceptable to us. So I know that it cost me $100,000 today. I'm going to get $35,000 for the next 2 years. And for whatever reason, I may be unsure about exactly how much I'm going to get in year 3. And so the question I want to say is, well, what's the smallest amount that could be, and I would still want to do this project? And if I'm pretty confident I'm going to make more than that, then I say, okay, this is a good thing to do. Okay, now the way we do these is we figure out first how much present value do we have. We compare that with the cost, $100,000, and we know how much we're short. And then we say, okay, well, how much would we need in year 3 to make up that much present value? Okay, so I think I've got this worked out in the slides here. You can think about it as an algebraic equation here. Okay, I can find the present value of the first 2 payments. Right, I know if I take the total present value and subtract the cost, it's got to be equal to 0. So if I solve this for cash flow 3, what I'm doing is I'm taking the present value of the first 2 payments. I'm going to subtract those from $100,000, and that's how much I'm short in terms of present value, right? Now, very often people will stop at that point and say that's the answer, but that's not. That's the present value of the answer. So then I have to multiply that amount times 1 plus the interest rate to the power of whatever year I want, and that will give me the actual answer. Okay? So if I were going to do this on the computer or on the calculator, the first case is it's a present value problem where I know I've got 2 payments. The interest rate in this case is 10% of $35,000. Those have a present value of $60,743, but remember the cost is $100,000. So I know that I'm short in terms of present value. So the difference between those is how much extra present value I need from the 3rd payment, and there it is. It's $39,256, and I'm going to, I can deal with that as a negative number, I guess. Now that means that's the present value of how much I need in year 3. So to get this in year 3, you can either, the easiest thing for me to do is take that times 1 plus the interest rate to the 3rd power. There's our answer. Or I can use my NIPV payment numbers and say, well, in year 3, I know I've got this much present value, and what is that future value? So you could solve that on the calculator that way. There's no payment. And there's that present value. And that's $52,250. So that's how much I would need in year 3 to make the project acceptable. Okay, $55,250. So here's one for you to practice. So I encourage you to take a moment here and practice and see that you get one of my answers here. I'll go ahead and work the problem out for you on the spreadsheet. So we have 131,000, and then we get 25,000. We get 35,000, 30,000, and 10,000. And then we'll know how much need at the end of year 5. So how much cash flow would I need to make here to make the project acceptable? And this times 0. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is say, let's see, what interest rate am I dealing with here? 9%. So the first thing I'm going to say is, well, how much present value do I have? In what I know, and so I know I've got these first 4 cash flows of that much. They give me that much present value. The total amount I need is 131. So the difference between those is $48,355. Now that's the present value of the answer. Right, so what I want is the future value of that. So I'm going to take that times 1 plus the interest rate, 9%, raise it to the 5th power, and there's my answer, 74,401. Hopefully that's one of my answer choices. Yes, 74,401. Okay, so work with this problem until you can get 74,401, and good practice problem for you there. Okay, we got another review problem here, and I'll pick that up on the next recording.